It's high noon at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City, where 6 players remain in the quest to be crowned the 2006 United States Poker Champion.
I'm going to do it this time.
3 are young bucks looking to ascend the throne. The other 3, cagey veterans armed with generations of poker experience to keep their quest alive.
Maybe you gotta let the old man win one.
These 6 shooters take aim at poker history right now. We've got a 6-way shootout for the title of United States Poker Champion tonight from the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. Hello, everybody. I'm Lon McCarron along with Norman Chad. Tonight, we will crown the winner of the 2006 USPC. Just 6 players remain from an original record-setting field of 261. And if you've been paying any attention at all to poker in the last few years, you've seen the tournament fields get larger and younger. And Norman, looking at our chip leaders tonight, I guess you have to concede that internet poker can produce quality products.
Lon, it is a brave new world out there. Everyone's in their underwear, online, playing No Limit Hold'em. Then once in a while, they put on their pants and come into a card room and show us how good internet players are. The online credo is kill or be killed. They are fearless. And you know what? It works. Today, Jordan Morgan, Michael DeMichele, or Alex Jacob could become the youngest USPC titleist ever. And then they'll go back home, disrobe, and kick some more butt online.
All right, let's meet the 6 finalists, one of whom will become the 2006 United States Poker Champion.
Dan Shack, Bryn Mawr, Pennsylvania.
Dale Pinchot, Trenton, New Jersey.
I'm Jordan Morgan from Norman, Oklahoma.
Steven Faraka, Plainview, New York.
Alex Jacob, Vegas, baby.
I'm Michael DeMichele, 21, from Connecticut.
So a half-dozen players left here in Atlantic City at the Trump Taj Mahal. Jordan Morgan, over 2 million chips, and more than 1 million behind is Michael DeMichele in second place. Dale Pinchot is the short stack of the final 6 right now. There's one of the old guys, Dan Shack, 47 years old. He will fold. King of Hearts, Queen of Hearts for Pinchot.
Dale's father, Franny, used to play poker with all the big boys. Dale once drove as a teenager from Las Vegas to Los Angeles with Amarillo Slim and Puggy Pearson.
Ooh.
I assume Dale never got a word in during that trip.
Fran Pinchot has 2 World Series cashes, 1 final table. And his son, Dale, raised it up to $48,000. Action folds around to Alex Jacob with Ace Jack.
Alex is quiet but confident. This past summer, he's at a World Series final table. Joseph Hashem, world champion, was also there. He said he wasn't intimidated. Alex said he's just a player who won 1 tournament.
That's one way to look at it. Alex Jacob has had a great year. 2 World Series final tables, 2nd at Foxwoods, final table here at the USPC. He's going to re-raise to 175. I guess he learned a lot from Hashem.
Well, Alex knows the aggressor usually wins in No Limit.
And Pinchot does fold, and Alex Jacob takes that pot and sets the tone here for the final 6. Alex Jacob now at $869,000, and Dale Pinchot forced to give up some of his precious short stack. Pinchot trailing badly now, but he still has the confidence to win it all.
I'm still okay right now. I'm not in desperation mode. So I think one of the other guys will melt down before me. And even though I have less chips than them, I think that I'll get my money in right.
Pinchot, short stack.
He's going to move his short stack in, 178,000 chips.
I think I might be committed.
DeMichele crunching the numbers.
128.
He'd probably call if he knew he was up against a small pocket pair or an ace rag.
Yeah, I call.
He will call it. It's 128,000 more, a pittance for DeMichele. Pretty much a coin flip with Pinchot's tournament life on the line.
And DeMichele appears to be the one anguished. Pinchot is the one all in.
Now DeMichele hates to give anything away, and there's an 8 for DeMichele. He takes the lead with a pair.
And DeMichele sends Pinchot to the brink with that flop.
Dale Pinchot with a 3 of diamonds on the turn gives him no help.
And Dale Pinchot might be looking at his last river card here at the USPC. He's going to need an ace, and an ace only, or his day is done.
And it is a queen. No good for Pinchot. He has been eliminated. He goes out in 6th place. Pinchot will win almost $89,000, and the rich get richer. All of Pinchot's chips go to Michael DiMichele. And Pinchot and Jacob with a post-mortem on the previous hand that Pinchot laid down. DiMichele over $1.2 million after knocking out Dale Pinchot.
I'm disappointed I couldn't double up there. And if I did there, I think I have a great chance to go to the final three for sure.
So the tension at this final table ratcheted up one more notch. Just 5 players remain. Stephen Faraca with a queen 6 of hearts, and the small blind limps in. Alex Jacob in the big blind. And he says, nobody plays for cheap in my game. He raises it another 50.
Alex always looks like his girlfriend just ran over his dog and then left him.
Faraca makes the call, his queen 6, leading Jacob's 9-8 offsuit right now. So these two will go to the flop. And the flop is 5 king ace. Faraca still with the best hand now by a long shot.
And Faraca has checked.
Alex Jacob missed that board. He's looking to make a bet here, and he does. 110,000.
110,000.
Yeah, he missed the board, Lon, but Alex, a big proponent of he who acts first acts last. In other words, be aggressive, and there'll be no action behind you. You can just take down the pot. Faraca doesn't have much himself, and it might work here.
And indeed it does. Faraca bends to the will and the big bet of young Alex Jacob. Faraca under 700,000. Alex Jacob on the uptick at 874,000. Welcome back to Atlantic City in the Trump Taj Mahal. Action underway at this final table with Queen 10 offsuit. DiMichele raised it up to 55,000.
Good call.
Stephen Faraca limped in with King 5 of spades. He makes the call for 35,000 more. These two are heads up going to the flop. Faraca leads with his king. The flop is 6. Queen 5. DiMichele leads with a pair of queens, but Faraca hit his 5. And Faraca checked.
DiMichele with top pair, Faraca with bottom pair.
But for all we know, Faraca might think that's the nuts, the way he's been playing his cards.
He has splashed around a lot.
A bet from DiMichele. And Faraca pushes with a lot of chips, 607,000 with 5s.
Wow. How much?
Give me 7.
Yeah, I think Faraca trying to represent a much bigger hand than he has.
Oh,
Trying to push DiMichele off his hand.
How much more is it?
Send me home. Tired.
45.
It's enough to put Michael DiMichele to the test here. This would be for almost half of DiMichele's chips.
I call.
Oh.
So there's the call, and Faraca at risk and needing a lot of help. DiMichele leads with a pair of queens. Faraca has a pair of 5s and 3 spades to a flush.
Faraca, a semi-retired builder, about to be fully retired from this championship table.
I got the queen.
Michael DiMichele informing his rooting section that he is the one with the queen and the advantage as the turn card comes out. It is an 8 of clubs, no help to Faraca with his tournament life on the line.
Faraca's gambit here doesn't look like it's going to work. He'll need a king or 5 to double up. Otherwise, DiMichele's got his 2nd straight knockout.
And now the river card. It is a 9 of clubs, and DiMichele does win the hand, knocking Stephen Faraca out in 5th place.
That's a tremendous call.
So Faraca bids goodbye to the table. His wife Robin has to be pleased with his showing here, and Michael DiMichele is the chip leader over $2 million.
He made a big call. Kid's an aggressive player, and I give him all the credit, you know. I truly didn't think he got the call either way.
So with Stephen Faraca's exit, we are left with a final 4, 320-somethings and the graybeard.
I'm a good, solid player. Not going to panic early.
Alex Jacob is a great player.
I'm a loose, aggressive player.
Just going to try and play my game and focus on playing the best I can.
They're very unpredictable. There's a lot of them that are very aggressive.
Mike's a good kid. I'm pretty sure he fears or respects me.
I'm going to try to be very aggressive. There's going to have to be some luck on my side.
It's a pretty special tournament.
4 players left now. Shaq and Jacob, the 2 short stacks, could become targets for the 2 millionaires.
Well, it's 47-year-old Dan Shaq against the Kitty Core. Shaq now staring at the future of America, Lon. Just a bunch of internet brats who seem to know what they're doing.
He and his wife have 5 kids. He knows how to deal with them. Shaq folds over to Jordan Morgan. Now Morgan is going to limp in with a Jack 10 to Jacob, the second short stack at this table.
Alex told me a while ago that he might be in law school in 5 years. Please. The closest he'll get to law school is TiVoing Boston Legal.
Jacob and D. Michelle join Morgan to the flop. Jack, Queen, 8. Jacob gets all of that, flopping a queen high straight. Morgan with a pair of jacks and a straight draw.
Jacob's going to lay low and hope that someone got a piece of that flop.
D. Michelle check behind him now. Morgan with that pair of jacks. Will not lay low. He's going to make it a small bet, $32,000. Back to Alex Jacob.
Law school, small school. Who's he kidding? It's all poker all the time for him, and he knows what he's doing.
Told you he went to Yale. It wasn't until his senior year in the fall he told his folks he'd been playing poker most of the time. And he's going to re-raise it to $160,000. D. Michelle folded immediately.
Jordan with middle pair and a gut shot straight draw.
And Morgan puts out a bunch of yellow chips. That's $420,000 total. A big re-raise back to Jacob.
Well, Alex knows the hand he holds right now can't be beaten on the flop.
I go all in. He's all in.
Wow. Jacob pushes everything.
Call
And
all in.
Morgan makes the call, and this will be a killer to him.
Oh, yeah. And he's got to be upset with himself, Lon. Jordan got aggressive with the middle pair after he was check raised. That's one thing. But, boy, that was a quick call of Alex Jacobs all in. And this is going to be a big turnaround if the straight holds up for Alex.
So Jordan Morgan still with an opportunity to knock off Jacob. Turn card now is a 10, and that helps. Jacks up for Jordan Morgan.
Yeah, now for Jordan Morgan, actually a 9 on the river. They both have a queen high straight and split the pot. And Jordan can still knock out Alex with a jack or a 10 on the river for a full house.
And now the river card. It is an ace of hearts, and Jacob doubles up and suddenly finds himself with 1.7 million chips. But a huge turnaround for the former dominating chip leader, Jordan Morgan.
Fortunes changed in a hurry there for Jordan. And boy, he'd like to step back and take a little longer to make that decision to call the all-in.
And Alex Jacob is the beneficiary of that serious misstep by Jordan Morgan. Welcome back to the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City and the final table at the 2006 USPC. It's time now for our last installment of Trump's Power Tips.
Don't be afraid of losing. Sometimes by losing a battle, you learn things and you end up winning the war. Don't be afraid to lose. It's a horrible word. I hate it. But don't be afraid of it.
Back at our final table, and Norman, you just have to wonder what is going through Jordan Morgan's mind right now after taking that big hit.
Well, sometimes that's why it's good after a big hit or a bad beat to get up from the table, clear your mind, don't let it linger with you.
And Jordan Morgan will raise it to $60,000.
Or you could raise it to $60,000. He's got a hand, though.
Ace Jack.
850 or so.
Alex Jacob getting a count on Jordan Morgan, turning the tables there. But with pocket eights, Jacob will just make the call. D. Michelle folds. Now Dan Shack.
And Dan Shack is going to step very gingerly in this company, trust me.
Queen 9 offsuit. And he's going to make the call. Cost him $40,000 more from the big blind. So 3 players, pretty much a 3-way coin flip going to the flop. Beth Shack and Son watching anxiously as Dan treading in dangerous waters, as you said. 9, ace, 6, a pair of aces for Morgan, 9s for Shack. Jacob's pocket eights now are almost rags.
Yeah, he went from first to worst on that flop.
Shack checked. Now Jordan Morgan with top pair. Not going to shy away from anything now. He fires with $135,000.
Alex always appears somewhat unhappy, but he's not. He's wearing shorts after all. Who doesn't have a good time in shorts?
His pocket eights did shrink and they go into the muck. Shaq gives it up as well. So Jordan Morgan with a big bet. But he had the cards. Will take that pot. Morgan's play has impressed a lot of people this week, including Dan Shack.
The first day I played next to a guy that raised with just about any 2 cards. But I have to tell you, when he hit him, he took people out. And when he didn't hit him, he tended to know when to get away with them. The chip leader, Jordan Morgan, got a lot of his chips that way, but he shifted gears right when he should have. So I think these internet players can play the way they play early, and if they're smart enough to build their chip stacks and then shift gears to a tight player, they're very dangerous and can win a tournament.
Dan Shack is well-versed in the risk-reward game, playing it for a living every day on Wall Street in one of the biggest pressure cookers in the world.
I work in the New York Mercantile Exchange building in New York. I'm a hedge fund manager. Poker is a hobby for me. My first priority is my work, and that affects my poker a lot, unfortunately. I actually wasn't due to play this tournament. Tuesday morning, I woke up to go to work. The ride I had for the day called me and canceled the ride. I viewed the cancellation of my ride as an omen that something good might happen. Maybe it's fate that I should go play in this poker tournament.
Trigger-happy young guns in a mistake.
Alex Jacob, one of those young guns already in the hand with 10 deuce, a raise to 65,000, is called by Shaq from the big blind. With ace-3, Jordan Morgan gets out of the way. Shaq with a 2-to-1 advantage going to the flop.
You have about 500 down?
What?
About 500, yeah.
Alex should get a notebook and write down these chip totals.
Deuce-9 Jack. Jacob pairs his deuce. Shaq got nothing but the lone club, and he checks. Alex Jacob with the lead, and the pair of deuces goes for 90,000.
He who acts first, acts last. It's a Chad Power tip, Lon.
And Dan Shack, whose motto is have no fear in poker, does give it up.
I hate to bring this up again, Lon, but nobody shaves anymore. I mean, you get disposable razors, electric shavers. It's not like you have to go to the barbershop and have them lather you up. Shave!
It's very possible that DiMichele and Jordan Morgan don't even shave yet.
Well, that's why half the table then is clean shaven.
Dan Shack gives it up. Over to clean-shaven, young 22-year-old Jordan Morgan, ace-7.
And we've seen a different Morgan of late. He was pretty aggressive all week with a bunch of chips. Now he's third in chips with 4 left, and he might be a little more hesitant at times.
He does raise it up to 60,000. Over to Alex Jacob. Even those cards aren't good enough for Alex to play. Michael DiMichele, our chip leader, 10-9 offsuit.
I think he has a hard time thinking when he's sitting down. So I'm going to make Morgan a favorite in this hand.
DiMichele will make the call. Morgan is the favorite right now with the ace. The flop is 3-8-3. Morgan's ace high, still good. DiMichele checked, and Jordan checks behind him. Turn card is a deuce. No change. Morgan still leads.
We saw Morgan feisty when he hit his ace on the flop in the previous hand. Here, with just a single ace, he's just not as aggressive.
They both check.
The cards are playing him. Not good.
And the free river card hits DiMichele. He gets the check mark with top pair, and this might give him license to fire away at the shorter stack.
Well, I agree with you. He's got to believe he has the best hand right now. I don't think he even has to stand up to think about it. It's a no-brainer. You just put in a small bet. He's put in some type of bet here, and then see what happens.
90,000 from DiMichele.
And Jordan Morgan is left just with ace high.
And he has to gauge if DiMichele hit any part of that flop, or is ace high good?
Boy, he's thinking his ace high is good. He's going to call.
He does indeed, and DiMichele shows him the 9s. Morgan mucks, and the chip leader gets stronger.
This isn't the fellow who got the 2 million chips earlier. Jordan Morgan might want to find his old self.
Morgan trying to fight his way out of his funk, but comes up short again. The man to beat at this USPC is Michael DiMichele. Welcome back to Atlantic City, and we are four-handed for the United States Poker Championship. Michael DiMichele, the chip leader, with Alex Jacob, just about 500,000 chips behind.
I like an internet player who doesn't have any headgear or eyewear. Jordan just wears the bare essentials, a wristwatch, and a wedding ring.
Ace-4 is good for a re-raise, up to 60,000. to Jacob now.
Alex says he's only been eating half a slice of pizza a day this whole tournament. He joked that he hopes to get busted early because he's hungry.
He makes the call with 7-5 of spades. DiMichele folds. Dan Shack last to act, and he will give it up. So Jacob and Morgan to the flop. Morgan again with the ace high has the advantage. The flop is Queen 6 Jack, and the ace high is still good for Jordan.
Nobody gets any piece of the flop.
Morgan is going to bet 95,000 to Alex.
That's a little bit of the old Jordan Morgan.
95.
He might think his ace high is good, but I think he's just trying to push Alex Jacob out of the spot right now.
No, I don't think that's going to happen the way Alex is reacting.
Alex has a 7 and a 5. Okay, you're right. All right, Jordan, go to plan D.
To the turn card now. It is a 6 of diamonds. Pairs the board. That does keep Jordan Morgan in the lead. Ace high still good here.
The old Morgan would take another shot at this. Well, he's not going to do it.
And he paid for it last time against DiMichele. And now Alex Jacob allowed to fire away with 160,000.
Well, first Morgan took a stab at the pot on the flop and got called. Now Alex with squad douche takes his stab and he gets Jordan to lay it down.
Indeed, the pressure and the big bet from Alex Jacob wins the pot for him. He approaches 2 million chips. And Alex Jacob siphons some more chips off his good friend Jordan Morgan, who is now down to 717,000.
Jordan is a terrific player. I know him personally. I'd be rooting for him, you know, if not myself. I mean, he's not going to give it away, I'll tell you that much. I'm going to have to work for it, so, you know, we'll see.
Action already underway here at this final table. Alex Jacob raised it up to 70,000 with Queen 10. Action folded to Jordan Morgan, and he's going to play with 8-6 of clubs. Cost him 50,000 to play those cards. And now the Jack 9 deuce on the flop. Jacob gets a straight draw. Morgan with 2 live raggedy cards. He checks.
You know, these online guys don't talk much at the table because they're used to being in front of their computer alone. But when I'm home alone, Lon, I never shut up.
Jacob checks behind him. It's a queen, and that hits Jacob right where he lives. But Morgan's not drawing dead yet.
Morgan's picked up a gut shot straight draw and has checked.
And Jacob will check again.
That's a little odd.
5 of hearts on the river gives Jacob the check mark. Jordan Morgan, first to act. He can only win this by betting it. And he does, makes it 90,000.
Well, I think that's a bad time to bet it. What could that 5 of hearts done for him? It didn't complete any draw. And I think Alex's bluff-o-meter might scope this one out. Odd bet from Jordan Morgan, frankly.
And Jacob makes the call, and Jordan just says, yeah, you got me beat. And give this man some oxygen. He is sinking, Norman.
That is 3 hands in a row. Jordan Morgan has zigged when he should have zagged, and he has lost each pot.
So Jacob over 2 million chips. Morgan with a mistake of aggression there, but still remains calm on the outside. He has suffered some incredible beats this week, but handled them all with grace and maturity beyond his years. So these two go to the turn. Shack way behind. Well, now a full house for both. Dan Shack's is better.
Wow, the cooler of the decade.
And the river card is another 9. And Cousineau got his full house.
I hit gin on the river.
And the river card is a deuce. And Richie hits the full house.
Oh, wow, that's a 1-outer.
And I'll tell you, Jordan Morgan with a lot of composure and class for a 22-year-old.
River card. It is a diamond.
And this is the second time in the tournament Shack has come from behind against Morgan to take down a big pot.
And Jordan Morgan's rotten river luck continues. Morgan handed a bunch of chips to Shack. In fact, Dan might not be at this table had he not won those hands, and he's risking 80,000 of those chips now with ace-3 of diamonds. Chip leader Michael DiMichele now.
He's thinking.
Come on.
Wow, big thoughts. All in. With ace-king.
Yep, I call.
And Dan Shack is going to make the call. This is the degree all-in moment. Dan Sheck risking everything he has, and he is dominated.
Yeah, indeed. This is not the situation Shaq's been waiting for. But what he's hoping for here maybe is a little more magic. We saw him put a bad beat a couple of times on Jordan Morgan to stay alive, and now he needs to put another bad beat on DiMichele to stay in the USPC.
Dan Sheck looking for some confidence from his wife Beth and their kids. Here we go to the flop now. 4, queen, 7, 2 more diamonds for Sheck, but he's going to need another one.
Remember when he was all in with the queens against Morgan's kings?
Black.
Diamonds saved him.
Who said that? Yeah, you. Yeah, Black. Get over there
Dan
with my family.
Sheck at the table, just as calm as he was when he had those queens against the kings. Maybe he feels the diamond.
The turn card, 8 of spades, and Dan Sheck down to his last chance.
And Dan's wife, Beth, thinking diamond or 3. Diamond or 3.
Now the river card. It is a deuce of clubs. DiMichele can exhale. He wins the hand, gets the degree check mark, and eliminates Dan Sheck in 4th place. Sheck earns almost $152,000. Not bad for a last-minute entry. Michael DiMichele increases his chip lead, and the 3 young phenoms are left to fight it out here at the USPC.
I honestly think it's up for grabs. I think when you get shorthanded, luck plays a big factor, and I think the 2 big stacks that are left obviously have the advantage, but in this game, you never know.
The Degree All-In Moment is brought to you by Degree. Protects men who take risks.
Welcome back to Atlantic City. We are 3-handed for the USPC title. Michael DiMichele leads the way with $2.6 million. Alex Jacob in 2nd place, just over $2 million. And Jordan Morgan is the short stack with just over $500,000 chips.
We're now guaranteed the youngest U.S. poker champion ever. James Caparucio was 24 last year. Morgan's 22, DiMichele's 21, and Jacob is 21.
Action on Michael DiMichele.
Jacob graduated from Yale. Morgan went to Oklahoma a couple of years, and DiMichele skipped college altogether.
And it's DiMichele in the chip lead now. He's hooked up with Morgan as these two go to the flop. The flop is Jack 5-3, 2 pair for DiMichele and a pair of jacks for Morgan. Wow.
In 3-handed play, 2 pair is huge on the flop. DiMichele knows that, and he's got a chance now to make Jordan Morgan's day even a bit more miserable.
DiMichele with 5s over 3s bets $30,000 to Morgan with a pair of jacks only.
It's dangerous territory for Jordan because he does have top pair, and he is up against those 2 pair.
And wow, that's manna from heaven for Morgan. Trip jacks for the lead.
That changes everything. DiMichele's 2 pair no longer good, and he is checked over to Morgan, who's got the check mark.
DiMichele is drawing dead. He did check. And now Morgan comes out with $55,000. DiMichele sees right through it and folds immediately. And Jordan Morgan takes the small pot.
So Morgan finally gets a hand, but consistent with his day, he only gets about 56,000 chips out of it, really not able to capitalize on those 3 jacks.
Jordan still is the clear-cut short stack, but this is no limit, so anything could happen. He's still in the game. Queen 10. But Morgan has been on his own version of tilt as of late. A lot of players might walk away from the table, as you mentioned, but we're 3-handed for one thing, and he's trying to play through it. And he's going to raise it up to 60,000. Jacob.
Players just don't talk much. They got to talk more, Lon. Loosen up, fellas. Adam never gets a second date with Eve unless he says something nice to her.
With Jack 7, DiMichele will make the call. And here we go to the flop. It is Ace 4-9. Morgan's queen keeps him in the lead. DiMichele checked.
Not much out there for either player, and this will be a recurring theme when we're shorthanded. Nobody hits anything. Who wants to make a move for the pot?
Jordan Morgan does. $95,000. That's the Jordan we know.
DiMichele with hand on head, which is a Jordan Morgan pose. DiMichele says that online players are shaping poker into a new era of advanced strategy. I guess Doyle Brunson might take exception to that. But DiMichele seems to have most of the puzzle figured already.
He is our chip leader, 3-handed. And wow, here's his new strategy. 300,000 chips back at you, Jordan Morgan.
Yeah, put a bluff on top of the bluff, and boy, that move should take it down, and it does.
And DiMichele once again using the big stack to make a big play to increase his chip count.
Sometimes you just have to put your money in and hope that it works. I mean, there are definitely times when I make crazy bluffs and I go home feeling like a total idiot, like, why did I even do that? And that's, I mean, a lot of it has to do with experience. And, you know, actually a lot of internet players don't have that much experience when it comes to making big bluffs in tournaments because, you know, they haven't been around for years, although they have played hundreds of thousands of hands. So, I mean, there are going to be times when internet players explode and make big mistakes just because of the lack of experience.
There are no online accents at this final table on. These three players have played terrific poker to get here.
Alex Jacob re-raised the action up to 225,000 with ace-5. Morgan's out of the hand. DiMichele with 10-8 says, I'll play along with you for now. So these two to the flop again. It is 9-3 king. That misses both. Ace-high, still best for Alex Jacob.
They both whiff on the flop. Let's see who's going to want to swing the bat.
Neither one has been too shy about that.
I'll tell you, Alex looks like every country western song I've ever heard, Lon. Oh, the pain and angst of the ace-5 offsuit, but he bets.
325,000. And so the big bet to DiMichele with 10-8.
Instead of standing up, changes his poker posture here.
Alex Jacob putting the chip leader to another test. These two have played a lot together during this tournament. And DiMichele is going to re-raise the action to 900,000.
That's impressive. And we just saw DiMichele do this to Jordan Morgan. Morgan had bluffed on the flop. DiMichele bluffed back and took down the pot.
Can I go all in?
All in.
Wow, and Jacob comes back over the top.
Well, this was a different opponent, different situation, and that is remarkably impressive on Alex Jacob's part. No way Michael DiMichele can continue now.
And that all-in pretty much renders DiMichele powerless. And he does give it up. And Alex Jacob with a bold move has moved over 3 million chips.
The kid gloves are off. We're seeing some knockdown roundhouse poker here.
Alex Jacob using that all-in in a perfect manner, and for the first time at this final table, he is the chip leader with over 3 million. Welcome back. We are three-handed. When the final table began, Jordan Morgan had a 1 million chip lead on the field. Michael DiMichele then took command for a while, but now it is Alex Jacob's turn to lead the way. And back at this final table, Jacob and DiMichele are in the hand again. Jacob limped in with 10-8. DiMichele raised it to 137 with king 10.
I'm all in.
All in here.
And Morgan pushes with ace-4. Jacob folds.
Jordan Morgan started today as a chip leader, and although he's still among the final three, it just seems like he's been on the edge for quite a while. DiMichele's standing up, and he usually calls when he's standing up.
Call.
And for 239,000 more, he does, and he puts Jordan Morgan at risk of elimination. But Morgan has the lead with the ace.
And as usual, DiMichele a moving target when we're in the all-in situations. Meanwhile, Morgan just looks a little peaked, Lon.
He has just not been himself since taking that huge hit to Alex Jacob. All right, so here these two go to the flop. Morgan all in. 8, queen 4. Morgan increases his lead with bottom pair.
That should be a little pick-me-up for Jordan Morgan. He doesn't look like he's been picked up, but he's in good shape now to survive the all-in.
DiMichele still with 2 live cards. Turn card is a 7. Morgan is still good, trying to double up.
Jordan 1 card closer to surviving. DiMichele can still knock out Jordan with a king or a 10 on the river.
And now the river card, that is a jack, and Jordan Morgan is back in the game, takes the hand and doubles up through Michael DiMichele. DiMichele, don't feel too bad, just under 2 million chips. But Jordan Morgan's got some fighting chips now.
Well, nobody seems all that happy around here. This table could use a streaker playing bagpipes. That'll loosen a few collars.
Ooh, that's some imagery that will take some time to forget. Thanks, Norman.
Now you got a long ride home.
DiMichele with 9-8 off suit.
Poker posture, son.
He's going to raise it up to 75,000. 6-3 for Jordan Morgan go into the muck. Now table leader Alex Jacob with queen 9.
He not only won't shave, I don't think he tucks in his shirt.
And he'll make the call. Alex made a spot-on observation about poker these days. He said it's like goofing off all day, and somehow the world has conspired to make it profitable. DiMichele picks up a straight draw. Queen high for Jacob, though, still leads. And he checks.
See, if you talk to each other at the table, you break the ice, and next thing you know, a dinner party's broken out, and you're playing Twister.
DiMichele bets 125,000.
Alex says tells are overrated. He thinks it's more about player tendencies and betting patterns. Most guys online believe that. Obviously, they can't see people when they're playing online, so it makes sense to work on the other parts of your game.
So with that bet, Michael, DiMichele takes down that pot, and the gap between him and chip leader Alex Jacob has closed to just over 300,000 chips. Jacob perhaps hearing some footsteps.
All three of these players have been chip leader at various points of this final table. Jordan Morgan, the one at the bottom right now, looking up.
Almost $900,000 going to this year's USPC champion. It would be the biggest poker payday for any of our three remaining players. Alex Jacob with King, Queen of Hearts. And he'll raise it up to 75,000. And pocket eights for DiMichele. Couple of real hands, Norman.
Those are excellent hands, three-handed. DiMichele now is going to think with his hand on his head. Haven't seen that lately. I'm sorry, now hand on forehead. I'm sorry, now hands covering his entire face. I don't understand the difficulty here. He's got a good hand, pocket eights. He's just got to decide what to do with them, how to play with them.
The only thing he did not do was stand up and think.
Well, one of these three players is going to become our youngest USPC champion ever. Unless, of course, his final table lasts another 4 or 5 years.
And he will raise to 300,000.
And someone had to wake up Jordan Morgan and let him know that he had a hand, and he gets rid of it quickly.
Now back to Jacob. A suited king-queen.
But is it a suited king-queen? Yeah, he checks again. It is. They never change. Boy, DiMichele sitting back like he just had some porterhouse steak for lunch.
I go all in.
All in.
Oh, he might lose that steak now. All in from Alex Jacob.
Wow. And DiMichele gets up, and when he's up, he's thinking, and history says he's going to be calling when he's up, but it would be for all of his chips.
Yeah, Jacob just barely has DiMichele covered.
Oh, I'm gonna be so sick if I call this and you show nines.
Well, that's got to make Alex swallow hard, because that tells Alex that DiMichele has a pocket pair, probably eights.
Ready to lose all your chips?
One of these two is going to lose all their chips if there's a call here.
Can I take that bet back?
Call.
Oh, and he does call.
Pocket eights.
Michael DiMichele puts himself at risk in a coin flip.
What a big hand this is. A long week. Going to come down to that coin flip.
Alex, you
and between two players who have butted heads so often during this tournament. Michael DiMichele, another tough decision. It is now for his tournament life.
DiMichele likes the pace. Alex more sedentary, a brooding genius without much movement. He's starting to remind me of Van Gogh.
And here's our flop, and there's a king in there. Alex Jacob pairs his king to take the lead.
What a dagger to Michael DiMichele.
You're going to have these tough decisions if you're lucky enough to get deep into a big tournament. DiMichele had a chance to be a dominating chip leader, but now in danger of going out.
And DiMichele is beside himself.
And now the turn card is an ace of clubs. DiMichele's stock goes up a bit.
That gives him a much better draw going into the river.
We picked up a flush draw.
DiMichele now with a flush draw. Alex trying to knock him out. DiMichele needs an 8 or a club on the river. or we'll be heads up for this USPC title.
The river card. A 6 of hearts, and it's not to be for Michael DiMichele. Alex Jacob wins the pot and eliminates DiMichele in 3rd place.
And Alex would have been crippled there if he'd lost the hand. He mentioned earlier in the tournament he's been living a charmed life, and it continues.
Michael DiMichele will earn over $215,000 for a fine run here in Atlantic City.
DiMichele doesn't want to go, and you can't blame him. Played great all week.
And we are heads up now. The chip leader, 21-year-old Alex Jacob, and the former massive chip leader, 22-year-old Jordan Morgan, 2 buddies going for this major title here in Atlantic City.
I just felt like he was making a move again, and I just thought that we're probably racing. And I thought he might have even had like an undercard. I thought he might have had, ace-5 again. I mean, so I thought there was a chance I was even a big favorite. But with the fact that I'm risking my tournament life and, the opportunity to move into second and make $400,000, it might not have been the right call anyway, because now I'm left with 200 instead of 400.
It was the right call. He played it like a man. He went down like a man. End of story.
But he will be watching this heads-up matchup between Alex Jacob, the chip leader, and Jordan Morgan.
Neither of these youngsters is a pretender. I mean, they hit the ground running this year in their first World Series in 2006. They both cashed 4 times. Alex made 2 final tables. Jordan Morgan made 1 final table.
5-4 off suit brings 75,000 chips from Alex Jacob. And you saw the suitcase with the first prize money of almost $900,000, and Jordan Morgan will fold it to Jacob. Looking at Jordan Morgan, I don't know, he looks the same, but it just seems like something in his eyes. Normally, he's got a little more pep in his step than we saw earlier on when he was so down in the dumps.
Well, he survived what could have been an apocalyptic final table, and he's here.
Heads up. Still with a shot at this USPC title. King, Queen offsuit, 75,000 chips from Jordan Morgan, and ace-5 offsuit for Alex Jacob.
And Alex is not going to move quickly now. It's a long grind here over several days. It gets late, you get tired, you take a little more time.
I go all in.
All in.
Wow, well, he does want to end things quickly.
I gamble, I call.
And a call.
Ace little.
Well, Jordan Morgan is right. He's got Alex on ace little. And because he's right, he knows he's at risk of going out right now.
Seems like he knew what he was getting into. Morgan's king-queen against the ace-5 of Jacob. And the flop, and there's the ace! Jacob now on the verge of a breathtaking victory.
Jacob can smell it. Jordan Morgan needs running cards or it's over. Running hearts, running straight, running 2 pair, or running trips.
And now the turn card. It is a deuce, and that is going to do it. Morgan drawing dead, and 21-year-old Alex Jacob is the 2006 United States Poker Champion. A meaningless jack on the river, and Jacob is overcome.
Alex Jacob, now the youngest U.S. Poker Champion ever. Did it on a lot of guts, a lot of heart, a little luck, and a half a piece of pizza a day.
He toyed with the lead early on in the tournament, hung around in the wings before making great strides at the final table, culminating in this record-setting victory. Hard-earned respect for online players, and oh yeah, a check for almost $900,000.
I was thinking about doing it.
For the longest time, people thought this was Jordan Morgan's tournament, but a critical misstep against Jacob cost him his chance to secure this title.
Yeah, I'll definitely do things differently. I learned a lot from this experience. My first big televised final table, and definitely didn't play as well as I'd like to, but there's always next time.
Right now, with the help of Trump Taj Mahal Vice President Vincent Massio, we can now crown the youngest United States poker champion ever.
Alex, on behalf of Donald Trump, Trump Entertainment Resorts, Tom Zito, and the greatest poker room in Atlantic City, let me be the first to say congratulations on winning the 2006 United States Poker Championship. Congratulations.
Alex, you just became the youngest U.S. poker champion ever. What do you do for an encore?
I'm just I just can't wait to get out there and you know, play everywhere and win every tournament. Poker is easy. Let's go.
Congratulations, Cricket.
It has been quite an eventful tournament here at the United States Poker Championship, with history being written yet again.
What the hell are you doing coming in with that hand?
Who called the clock on the fish?
Thank God. Whoa, whoa, sir.
They folded yet?
Justice.
Excuse me?
The nuts, baby. You don't raise it with that. Oh!
How lucky can you get?
Did you see him slow roll me?
I say a stripper stole my watch.
You know I got you beat.
I don't win.
Ollie Johnny, boys. You just say Ollie.
Yeah!
You all had the right read. What can I tell you?
Getting sicker and sicker by the moment. Can't you just give me a break?
Yeah!
It wasn't fun for me.
Yeah, you are sorry.
You're welcome, guys.